I remember how real the orange felt when I picked it up out of the basket at the mall. I even looked it over and decided it was a decent orange, went to package it, and I dropped it. I remember cursing and bending down to pick it up, but it was gone. I discovered, to my utter confusion, that it was back in the basket again. I had looked everywhere it could have rolled away too, but it was nowhere to be found, until I saw it just sitting there, as if I had never picked it up. I picked it up again and stared at it, somehow knowing that it was the same orange. That wasn't the first strange thing, either. Sometime before that, I had been walking along towards the cereal, paying little attention to the ambient buzz of voices, foot traffic and squeaky shopping carts. Your usual background noises at the mall. Something you can tune out if you focus on your own shopping. It was due to this tuning out that I noticed a faint sound that didn't match the ambience. It was so barely audible that I almost dismissed it, but after some time I had to stop denying its existence. It was a low, rumbling hum that seemed to stop at intervals before resuming. Unsettlingly, it seemed to be getting louder over time. Shortly after being forced to acknowledge the sound, I had decided to finish my shopping quickly and leave. Then I had the experience with the orange. It did something strange to my mind, because there was a moment where I almost lost touch with reality. I had a mental image of something that was either a window, or a screen. I could see the whole scene through it. The shopping mall. Myself doing my shopping. It was the briefest of moments, and then I snapped back to looking through my own eyes. It had been an eerie and surreal feeling. I remember wondering what was wrong with me. I shook my head and packed the orange in a plastic bag to put into my cart. Turning into the next aisle, I stopped dead in my tracks when I looked down towards the end of the row of goods. A figure stood there, something I couldn't understand even as I looked at. It was simply a flickering black silhouette of what seemed to be a very large person. It had a strangely warped appearance, almost as if it was existing in a space it didn't belong. Like a ripple in the fabric of reality. Sure, maybe I watched too many science fiction movies, but that was the only way it could be described. I stared at the figure for a long time, a horrible feeling growing inside me every second. I decided to leave the store without my stuff as I was completely freaked out, but my breath caught in my throat when I decided to leave and it was standing in front of the exit, glitching and flickering like a corrupted video. In some of the flickers, it seemed to warp closer to me and I ran, terrified. I remember getting to the bathroom and shutting the door behind me, thinking that would somehow protect me, before edging away from it and standing in the center of the bathroom, breathing heavily. After an eerie silence that stretched out far too long, I had plucked up the courage to leave the bathroom and make a break for the exit to try to get out. A knocking sound to my left suddenly drew my attention and I whirled around. To my horror, the dark, glitching figure stood there in the mirror, flickering and convulsing. All I could do was scream as there was a shattering of glass before the thing leapt out of the mirror at me, hands outstretched. I came to my senses while thrashing around on the floor of my bedroom. My desk chair flipped over. I had obviously fallen out of it at some point in my nightmare or whatever that was. I remember sitting up and breathing hard for a while, still trying to calm my nerves after how frighteningly realistic my experience had been. I felt better knowing that I was safe in my room. I decided to get my friend Alex on video chat anyway, to tell him about it. He liked freaky shit and I would have felt even better after talking to him. It was the worst thing I could have done, though. I sat back at my desk, staring at my computer. There was a blank window open. Just a black screen and a random sequence of numbers as the name of the program that had supposedly been running. I hit the red cross to close the window and initiated a video chat with Alex. His face came into view after a few moments. "Yo, dude, you're still up?" he asked. "Yeah, I had a weird dream I thought you might like to hear about." "Yeah? Do tell." "Well, I was just busy shopping, and it turned out I was being stalked by some weird glitch monster. I ran from it, it caught me and then I woke up." I said, "Glitch monster? That's weird as hell. I think you spend too much time on your PC." "I think so too." "So, are you free on Friday?" "Yeah, why?" I asked. Alex didn't reply, and I could see a confused expression on his face as he looked closer at his screen. My feed is doing weird shit. I think there's an issue with my connection or yours. But the audio is fine? I saw Alex staring at the screen, and his eyes opened wide in horror. I was riddled with chills as I realized he must have been looking at something in my own room. Trembling, I slowly clicked on the button that opened a small window that showed me the view of my own webcam. I screamed weakly when I saw the dark figure looming over me from behind. My video feed was flickering and glitching like crazy, and I remember feel a freezing cold creeping over my whole body. I felt frozen and helpless as my screen was lost in my paralysis, as if my whole body had shut down, but I could still see. At least, until everything went dark. A while later I opened my eyes and I could see the ceiling of my bedroom in the gloom. It was still dark, maybe somewhere around midnight. I almost felt relief, but I knew better. Something is still wrong. I don't think I'm safe here anymore. I can hear the strange static all the time, and I'm too afraid to look for the source or leave the house. I may sound crazy, but I'm sure that I had somehow been watching a video of myself in a shopping mall. My computer still acts strange and I think it has some sort of virus. Now I'm going to sound even crazier. I think that virus did something really weird, and now it's here in my house with me. My computer glitches, my TV glitches, I have this strange fear that if I leave my house, I'll be erased, like a deleted file. Maybe this place isn't even real. I'm scared the virus will consume me and it will be as if I never existed. Even right now, I can still hear the static.